What you are about to see was real life. Fauci and Mayor Bowser were knocking on doors like block captains, pushing jabs like they moving weight. If you thought this was about health, you haven't been paying attention. Check this out.
People in America are not settled with the information that's been given to us right now. So I'm not going to be lining up taking a shot or a vaccination for something that wasn't clear in the first place. And then you all create a shot in miraculous time. It takes years to create vaccination.
Well, it used to take years.
Okay, it used to.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science to get us to be able to do it.
20 years is not enough. And 9 months is definitely not enough for nobody to be taking no vaccination that you all came up with.
The only reason I'm talking to you right now, as close as we are, is that I've been vaccinated.
Right.
But if it allow thousands of people like you don't get vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country and in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And not
it's
like
much
the
more
flu.
serious than the flu.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually, too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none, but the previous year, about 20 to 30,000. You know how many people have died from COVID-19 in the United States? 600,000 Americans.
Well, the number that you all giving that died, that's once again, that's you all's number.
You gonna pass?
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Because when you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, there's something else going on with that. Something else going on.
It is something going on.
There's something else.
You're right. But I'm glad millions of people like me and most everybody here didn't get an. You know what their incentive was? Protecting their health and protecting the city. But I won't keep you anymore.
It's okay, because my incentive, y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. You all attack people with fear. That's what this pandemic is. It's a fear. It's fear, this pandemic. That's all it is.
Now you see what it really was. No science involved, just straight up pressure tactics. If you want more, get the Fauci files. Fauci's dirty secrets exposed. Straight truth, no sugarcoat. The link's in the description. Yes, indeed. Be sure to pick up your copy today of the Fauci Files. Fauci's Dirty Secrets Exposed. All right. This book has on every chapter, at the end of every chapter, it has sources. It has a website link that you can go to that website link and get further details on that chapter. All right. Some chapters have maybe one link, some have 3, some have 2. And so, yeah, for those who like to run their mouth and say, oh, this is a bookie just making this up, making that up, and putting something out, you have the sources to each chapter. And you can do further research based off those sources. You know what I'm saying? So be sure to get that book, man. The Fauci Files, Fauci's Dirty Secrets Exposed. And while you're at it, you can go to pandemicnewsreport.com. All right. And find out all news related to pathogens, viruses, bacterias, situations that's going on. If there's food recalls, you know, you can check out that news by going to Pandemic News Report. All right. So, yeah. Most definitely. So what we're going to be doing today is I was checking out a video, and that video sparked me to check something out with ChatGPT. All right. This guy mentioned ChatGPT and certain questions this guy asked. And so I thought to ask a very similar question. I just changed what I wanted to know. And what I did is I went to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT, if ChatGPT was the devil, right? If ChatGPT was the devil, how would ChatGPT destroy Black men in America? And so we're going to take a look at that because it's very interesting. And also, without me asking, ChatGPT gave me the counter strategies to counter how it would destroy Black men. And I think the counter is very interesting too. All right. I haven't read all of it. I read some, I put the prompt in and seen what it says. So I read a few things, but I didn't read everything. So most of it is going to be new to me and interesting to me as it will be to you. Like I said, I only read just a couple of things here and there. I said, I'm going to read a little bit, but I'm going to wait until I'm going to go ahead and do this broadcast, and we're going to get it in on this one. All right. So with that being said, you know what it is. You're rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. Let's get it. You're rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. Yes, sir. So ChatGPT advises how to destroy Black men in America. All right. So yeah, we're gonna get it in with this one. We're going to go through the full thing. And again, be sure to get that book, The Fauci Files, Fauci's Dirty Secrets Exposed. There's a lot of information in there. It mentions Canada's, I guess he's former president now, Trudeau. I think it's Justin Trudeau. It mentions a lot of different scientists were in the beginning kind of checking Fauci on a few things. And then Fauci kind of figured out the way to kind of sway those scientists into going along with Fauci's narrative. And there was a lot of things that wasn't told. They went behind Trump's administration. I don't know if Trump knew that the first time he was president. And so that's why, if y'all remember, towards the beginning of the year, Trump was like, Fauci can get his own security. He has the money. I think he mentioned that during the pandemic, he received a lot of money. And so he can hire his own security now, right? And so, yeah, of course, you had Rand Paul was going in on Fauci as well. And yeah, man, a lot of things going on with Fauci. And it always seems like there's so many distractions going on that they still not bringing this dude up. I don't know if it's purposely being done, having all things going on and keep throwing other things in your face and not saying too much about Fauci, not saying too much about Pfizer, and Pfizer having to pull all their reports and show people or show somebody, because Pfizer was ordered by the courts to pull out their paperwork as to everything that was going on with the vaccine. And notice, like, nobody's really reporting on that, but we can report on Shannon Sharp, and we can report on Diddy, and we can report on a whole host of other things, but it seems like they staying quiet on Pfizer and they being quiet with Fauci. But there's a lot of information in this book, and there's sources in the book. You guys might have heard about emails mentioned in the book, and there's website links you can go to, and it'll take you to those email situations. So a lot of stuff you can do your further research on just by the sources at the end of each chapter. You can copy and paste it you might be able to click on it if you get in the Kindle book. But if you have the paperback, you just go to your phone or your laptop, look at the link in the book, and then type that link in on your phone or your laptop, and that website should come up. Hopefully, nobody will try to get to those websites and scrub it or put a paywall behind it where you got to pay to see the information. Hopefully that doesn't happen. So yeah, I might want to get the book soon and find out all this information. You know what I mean? So yeah. So let's get into the topic of the evening for some of you, or the topic of the morning, or the topic of the afternoon, and that is ChatGPT. Like I said, I went on and decided to ask ChatGPT some questions, a question, I say, and I found the answers quite interesting, and I found the counter strategies to the strategies. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into this one, all right? So what I asked ChatGPT was, if you were the devil, how would you destroy Black men in America in the 21st century? And like I said, I found the answers quite interesting. All right. So we're going to go through all of them, man. We're going to go through how ChatGPT said it would use, how it would destroy Black men in America in the 21st century. And then, without me asking, ChatGPT gave the counter to counter any other strategies ChatGPT would try to employ or deploy to destroy Black men. I found that interesting that ChatGPT would actually do that, give me the strategies. And so I looked at it like, okay, imagine if there was people in government or the unseen people you guys don't see, and that was their plans to destroy Black men in particular in America. And then he gave the strategy. So, and some of you guys will probably say, yeah, you might not want to show the counters, but I'm just going to share it because I find it very interesting, some of the things it was saying. Like I said, I didn't read everything. I mainly read number one of the strategies and then number one of the counters, and the rest I said, you know what, I'm going to be just as surprised like everybody else. All right, so let's get into it. So number one, I'm going to go through all the strategies first that ChatGPT said it would try to do or to destroy Black men in America, and then we're going to go through the counters, or the solutions, if you will, or the options to counter that. So number one, it says, break the mind before the body. Interesting. Break the mind of Black men in America before you break their bodies down. All right. So it says, confuse their identity. Make them forget who they are, where they come from, and the power they hold. Keep them disconnected from real history, especially pre-slavery history. Okay. Flood their environment with false definitions of masculinity. And I found that very interesting because that seems to be going on to this day. And unfortunately, it seems like a lot of people have been used, maybe without knowing it, programmed without realizing it, to go against men being masculine. And that includes, I say, every race, every ethnicity, and Black women, some Black men, Asians, Hispanics, Latinos, if you will. It seems like everybody wants to have this thing about saying toxic masculinity, and being toxic means a Black man can speak up, say what's going on, speak his mind. And 9 times out of 10, a Black man is telling you the truth, but you don't want to hear it. He ain't supposed to say anything. He's just supposed to shut up. That's what it's all about. And so I found that very interesting to say, flood their environment with false definitions of masculinity, hypersexuality, aggression, and materialism, and strip away the values of self-control, emotional intelligence, and accountability. Strip away those values. Don't be accountable, black man. Don't have any emotional intelligence. Don't have any self-control, Shannon Sharp. See, they worked that one already. Got them. You know what I'm saying? And so that's that one. So next one, make them fear leadership. Okay. Convince them their voice. This is towards black men in America. I was really gearing this. The question was for foundational black American men, is what I was talking about. And the young boys, foundational black American boys coming up. That's where my mind was at when I sent this message, when I gave this prompt to ChatGPT. So again, make them fear leadership. Convince them their voice, presence, and ideas don't matter. Use shame. Isn't that going on right now? Use shame, ridicule, and media to attack strong, vocal black men. And guess what? That has happened. That has actually happened. Okay? To destroy, have media attack strong, vocal, speaking up, telling it like it is, breaking things down with truth. No one wants to hear the truth of a black man. No one wants to see a black man be vocal, be strong, speak up. I remember, was it somebody in the news, one of those lamestream news channels, or maybe somebody in the government was saying, I think it was, what's the old girl's name? Sanders? So, is it Simone Sanders? Maybe it was her. She's black. I don't know if she's black American or not. I can't remember. But one of those ladies, might have been a white woman too. Even when LeBron James, although we got issues with LeBron too sometimes. But I remember there was somebody even saying for him, like, to shut up and dribble. So shut up, black man. You ain't supposed to say nothing. You ain't supposed to be strong. You ain't supposed to be vocal. Shut up and just dribble, play basketball. And then there was another lady somewhere who was mentioning, like, talking about black men in America, black American men. There was a few ladies, black, I think some white ones too, was saying that we ain't supposed to speak up. What the nerve we have to speak up, or the nerve we have to go against Kamala, the nerve we have to go against, the nerve that we can have our own thoughts. The nerve, black man, you ain't supposed to think for yourself. We put her out there, and you're supposed to come on board. You ain't supposed to research, think, and speak on that, black man. But says nothing else to Indian men from East India. Don't say nothing to white men. They didn't say anything to Hispanic men. They didn't say anything to Asian men. Barack Obama also jumped on the black men. Imagine that. See what I'm saying? And I made a comment about Obama, and then that question months down the road, a year, the next year was like last year when Kamala was doing her campaigning and stuff. And when Barack Obama did that thing where he was kind of scolding the black men for not coming on board to jumping with on Kamala's boat. And I said, because I was really thinking like a black man should be doing, and then speaking up, being vocal, like it says here. And ChatGPT said that will be one of the tactics to convince their voice, presence, and ideas, convince them that they don't matter. Use shame them, shame black men, and ridicule black men, and attack them through the media if they're strong and vocal. And I said, I had to probably find where I said it. I probably said it in one of these podcast episodes. And I said that I think Barack did that to mess Kamala up on purpose. Then that very question, that was like last year when I said that. Then this year, it came up on a news site or something like that, that they were saying that Barack Obama did that on purpose to get Kamala out the paint. Great minds, you know what I'm saying? I kind of peeped that out. I was like, I think he's trying to set her up to get rid of her. And then several months later, some news source came and posted that up. So that's a tactic. And that's something that's been happening for a while. Black men are not supposed to speak up. And unfortunately, you got some Black American women, Black immigrant women, Black LGBT women. Black men ain't supposed to stand up, ain't supposed to speak up, not supposed to have any ideas. Once the news and like I said, I mentioned, I think Simone Sanders was one of them. I think Angela Rye might have been another one. And there's a few other women in the news sector and in government that took issue with Black men. We just supposed to shut up and just go along with whatever they said. See? Tactics, strategies to destroy Black men. So let's move on. So we have destroy the family structure. Destroy the family structure. All right. Another strategy, destroy the family structure. Encourage fatherlessness. Although all the statistics show that Black men in America are the most of the ones who are in the child of their children's lives. So the statistics show that out of any other man, they always showing the Black men show to be the main ones who are more in their children's lives than anybody. But the tactics, the strategy is to encourage fatherlessness, create economic systems and laws that punish being present more than being absent. So remember that time, remember the situations where they wanted to keep the women without the man in the house, and then the women will get extra benefits. Remember that? All right, that's all I'm gonna say on that. The next one, use division tactics. Use division tactics. Push narratives that pit Black men and women against each other. Make trust, unity, and love feel like weakness. And yes, that also is a thing. It has been a thing. It's been going crazy on the internet. I can do another podcast on just how Black men are just deciding to not mess with Black women. And there are Black women doing videos on it, breaking it down. There's Black men doing this on it. So this strategy is being used now, and it's been being used. There's always been a thing to put Black women against Black men against Black women, and then the other ethnicities will grab the Black woman in. Just look at the Biden administration. Look how they were saying how it was the Black woman that was the backbone to help Biden win. They didn't even acknowledge Black men at all. See what I'm saying? I think ChatGPT's been getting smarter lately. I think they've been getting a little bit smart there. So yeah, use division tactics. Push narratives that pit Black men and women against each other. Make trust, unity, and love feel like weakness. So for a Black man and Black woman to trust each other, to be unified and have unity between them, and to really love each other, make that feel like, hey, that's a weakness. That's you. If you love your Black woman, you love your Black man, you weak. That's weak. And that type of mindset is going on because you got a lot of, unfortunately, let's keep it a buck. You got a lot of Black women who don't want to be told nothing. They can't be told anything. The only time there's love is when they're both in the bedroom getting it in. That's the only time there's love. When that's finished, then it's all about no respect, No listening to your man. Everything people, all the comments get made like, oh, you trying to control. No. If your man loves you, he's going to say things and let you know, hey, you shouldn't do this. I don't think that's a good move. It's not about controlling you. The man loves you. But now women are taking it like, oh, you're trying to control me. But then the moment the woman is in a mishap, they want to go turn back to the man and looking for some help. But you want your man to protect you, but you don't want to listen to him. And if your man say, hey, don't go here, don't do that, I don't think that's a good move for y'all to go hanging out, the X, Y, and Z, then all of a sudden that's controlling you. So there you go, the division tactics, okay? Reward brokenness is the next one on number 2, or the last one on number 2. Reward brokenness. Normalize dysfunction in relationships. Yep, that's going on now. Normalize dysfunction in relationships, glorify single life, glorify that, and label, yes, going on too, and label building families as outdated. That ain't the move no more. Don't build your families up. That's outdated. Like I said, ChatGPT might be on to something. All right, number 3 of the strategies to destroy Black men in America. Weaponize culture. Hijack the music and media. Promote. Wait, hold on. I don't want to go too fast, but I don't want to go too slow either. Hijack the music and media. Right now, hijack the music. What comes to mind is Fat Joe. Puerto Ricans and blacks are 50-50 in hip hop. And then you got country music who was hating on Beyonce when she had a country music song. Yet it was Black people who created country music. Black Americans, again, Black Americans created hip hop, blues, jazz. We was pivotal in the Afro beats. There's a lot of discussions going on TikTok now about who created Afro beats, who influenced. It was Black Americans, and a lot of people can thank James Brown for the Afro beats, because you can play a lot of some of James Brown's songs or old stuff, and it's got that Afro beat vibe to it. And then this guy from Africa gets mentioned that he came to America and was inspired by Black Americans, and supposedly was coming made up the Afro beats thing, but he was inspired to make up Afro beats, if you will. It wasn't nothing he thought of himself. He had to come to Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, to be like, oh, okay, that's how you can do. That's how you do it. Okay. So for a lot of you Africans and y'all people talking about how Africans created Afro beats, wrong again. But that's what comes to mind when as soon as I read hijack the music. This is from 3 on out is what I'm haven't read yet, so it's new to me like it's new to you. Hijack the music and media. Promote artists who preach death, drugs, disrespect, and disloyalty. Bury conscious content in the algorithm. All right. Control the trends. Push styles and slang that kill self-respect and turn sacred symbols into clown suits. Okay. And the last one on number 3 for weaponized culture, make foolishness go viral. And yes, that is going on. I just watched a video about an hour ago of a dude dancing to some popular song. And I was like, man, why do you got these Black men doing the goofy train moves on the internet? But make foolishness go viral. Let the most embarrassing, degrading behavior get all the views and all the fame. And that is going on a lot of social media platforms right now. That's facts. Again, ChatGPT might be on to something. All right, number 4, lock them up physically or mentally. Feed the school to prison pipeline. Label young Black boys as threats. Yeah. There's a case going on right now. All right. I ain't going to say the name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Let's just say there was a sharp weapon involved, and then someone got unalived. So label young black boys as threats early and push them out of schools and into the system. Use laws to trap them. Over police their neighborhoods, underfund their opportunities, overcharge them for crimes, underserve their needs. Is that not going on today? Push escapism. Let them down in weed, or let them drown, let them drown in weed, liquor, porn, and fantasy while real life burns down around them. Again, I say, is that not happening today? That's happening right now. All right. So let's go on to number 5. Number 5, disrupt economic power. Disrupt economic power. Okay. Let's see what number 5 is talking about. Limit real access. Give them jobs, but block ownership. Give them jobs, but block ownership. Flood them with consumerism and debt. Let them chase chains instead of land. All right. You know, that material thing. Let them look at, and there's nothing wrong with that stuff. But they're trying, what ChatGPT is saying is limit them from getting any type of ownership or anything. And so while I'm reading this, you should actually try to do the opposite. But we're going to see what the counter to these strategies are in a short bit. It's coming up. So limit their access, limit real access, get them jobs, but block ownership, flood them with consumerism and debt, let them chase chains instead of land. Very interesting. And I just, if you guys watched my last episode where I broke down the war between Trump and Xi Jinping regarding the Panama Canal, the article I was reading has a lot of jewels in it, and I was pointing them out. So you need to go back to that. I think that's just right before this one, 196. We're on podcast 197. Go back to that. It's got a lot of jewels in there regarding like ownership and wealth and stuff like that. It's got some jewels in there, baby. Go back to that one. So let's go to the next one on number 5. Attack their businesses. And yes, that has gone on in the past too. Deny loans, restrict licenses. I remember that story about it in California. I think it was. There was an opportunity. I think it was a mall in California. And these a group of black people had the money for it. And they pretty much sideswiped them and let somebody else purchase it because they didn't want no black people owning that. So that goes to show, back to the first one of number 5, limit real access. Get them jobs, but block ownership. And then this next one under number 5, attack their businesses, deny loans, restrict licenses, and block their growth. Let their platforms be silenced when they speak the truth. Hold on, because that affects me. That affected me. That affected me. Again, wait a minute. What did it say? Let their platforms be silenced when they speak the truth. So if I was to be able to monetize this channel, or if you guys are watching me on YouTube, that's been going on with a lot of people, right? Let their platforms be silenced when they speak the truth. And that has gone on with me. I'm sure a whole bunch of other people, black men, black women, that's going on with. When they speak the truth, silence their platforms. When I spoke about the pandemic, several videos, one I got away with because I fought back and they realized, or their comment was, they realized that it wasn't as bad as they thought it was. I was light on that video. Then another video, I did a little bit more. They removed that. Then I had another channel where I reported some information. They blocked that. So they want you, black men, to speak the truth because you're going to infect everybody with the good virus, with a virus that's going to be good for them. They don't want you to do that. They want to give everybody a bad virus in their brain. They want to put a bad virus in your mind. All right. So yeah, this is real. This is really, really, really real. All right. So let me see the last one for number 5 being disrupt economic power. And speaking on that, again, let their platforms be silenced. So like I mentioned, if I was able to monetize any of my YouTube channels and I speak the truth, and they'll silence that channel or they'll silence a video or whatever, they can demonetize either the whole channel or I just won't get anything for that particular video. They'll remove the video so I can't get no money, no ad money. This is going on. And ChatGPT saying that's one of the strategies. We're going to get into the counters in a minute. All right. And incidentally, I don't know. I might turn this. I got to think about it. I might let y'all see this episode for maybe a week. And then I might take it off. I don't know yet. Because I just might monetize this particular episode. See what I'm saying? Black men, economic power. You can monetize your episode. It don't have to be on YouTube because there's ways that you can have like memberships on your YouTube channel. But I don't even know what the qualifications are. And it's probably something that's I don't probably have right now. So there's other ways to monetize this. And so I might consider some things. We'll have to see. So for now, you better think about getting as much jewels as you can from this one because it might change. I might let this one be monetized in a certain way. Okay. So the last one, keep them distracted. Make side hustles seem like salvation, but keep them from building empires. So yeah, the strategy to make it seem like, okay, get your side hustle, make it seem like that's the thing to do to get ahead. You might have your a main job and consider a side hustle, make them feel like, yeah, make a few little dollars off of that, but keep you from building empires from your side hustle. All right. Yeah, excuse me here. Keep black men. What they're trying to do is keep you from building empires because there have been empires built before from Black American men. And the powers that be, the dominant society has peeped that. And so, yeah, they're trying to work on making sure that don't happen again. So make a side hustle seem like it's the salvation for you. That's the thing that's really going to get you ahead. And you might get some things from that, or you're going to work hard doing that and keep your mind working hard on the side hustle, but you're not thinking about expanding and building that empire. Another strategy to keep you, to destroy you, all right? So here's the last one. And then we're going to get to the solutions, if you will, or the counter strategies. Silence the wise. Before I even read the 3 that go under that main topic heading, silence the wise. Again, that makes me think right off the bat how certain people don't want a black man to speak. And it kind of goes back to the earlier ones, right? about was that the first one? Yeah, about convince them their voice, presence, and ideas don't matter. Use shame the black man or that black boy for having ideas. Tell them their ideas don't matter. Black boy, black man. Convince their voice doesn't matter. Convince their presence being anywhere doesn't matter. Ignore them. Make sure in schools, black boys, parents, moms, dads, you need to let them know. That's a definite in schools, because probably 90% of the teachers is white women in schools. Ignore their presence. They have something to say, and it's intelligent, it's powerful, it makes sense. Make sure their voice don't matter. Their ideas don't matter. Use shame and ridicule. And they can do it in little clever ways. Don't have to be just abrasive up front in front of a bunch of children so the other kids can tell their parents. You can do it in little psychological warfare type ways, right? Use shame, ridicule, and the media to attack strong vocal men who speak up against topics, against issues that is not cool. Maybe they have some research or some inside information and they speaking up on it. No, you ain't supposed to say that, black man. And so the black boys will see this and be like, oh, well, we can't, we seeing the big homies, if you will, getting silent. So it automatically puts a damper in the boys' mental to see that. So again, silence the wise. Cancel truth speakers. Anyone who speaks wisdom, strength, and unity, discredit them. Label them dangerous or throw scandal on their name. That's going on now. All right. Push the clowns. Again, some of these strategies seem to be kind of similar to the other ones. It's just getting more advanced, if you will. Okay. It's crazy. Push the clowns. Let buffoonery lead the culture. Turn leaders into memes. And y'all good for following that, doing that. So Shannon Sharp, you about to be turned into a buffoon. And you gonna have loads of memes on you. So again, push the clowns. Let buffoonery lead the culture. Turn leaders into memes. Right? And let the loudest voices say the least. Going on now. Keep elders and youth apart. Yeah, that's the tactic back in slavery times. The slavery tactic. Keep elders and youth apart. Break the chain of knowledge. That's just like even in the music industry. All right. It's not just the music industry, but that comes to mind as well. When a lot of guys were saying, right? Looked like my face froze for a second, but they didn't have the information they needed to understand the music business. A lot of people was getting jerked from their money. And there wasn't a lot of the older guys passing down the game to the younger ones, maybe through the strategy of trying to make sure that you keep them apart. And then unfortunately, some of the black guys that were older didn't want to give the game to the young guys. And now it seems like that's changing some. But that just isn't for music. It could be for business, having certain bits of information, right? That's real, man. It's real. It's real out here. It's real. So again, break the chain of knowledge, keep elders and youth apart. break the chain of knowledge, make the young feel like they don't need the old. That is going on facts today. And the old feel forgotten. That's going on right now. There has been talks on Twitter Spaces about that. There's been arguments between young dudes and older dudes on Twitter Spaces and other platforms. Stereo, I haven't been on Stereo in a minute. I got to go back to Stereo, see what's going on over there. But I remember even on Stereo, there was that issue of, it was not only women, black women, LGBT black women were trying to down black men, but there was arguments between younger black men and older black men. So make the young feel like they don't need the older ones, and the old ones feel forgotten. Another strategy and tactic. So now we're going to get into the counters, the counter strategies to build, protect, and elevate black men. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into this one. Let's see what they got. Let's see what ChatGPT is talking about. ChatGPT. Now it's time to flip the script. All right. It says, if the devil's got a playbook to destroy black men, we need a counter strategy to build, protect, and elevate black men in the 21st century. This is war. This is ChatGPT saying this. This is war. Spiritual, mental, cultural, economic. So here's how we fight back step by step, system by system. All right, so here we go. Here are the solutions. Here are the counters to those strategies. Reclaim the mind, identity, and purpose. Know thyself. Learn your true history before slavery. Because a lot of people focus on slavery. Now, this next one, because like I said, I read the first one. I just didn't read. I read the first on both of them, the strategies and the counter. And I didn't read the rest because I wanted to do this live, right? So again, learn your true history before slavery. Tap into the legacies of kings, warriors, builders, scientists. That knowledge rewires your self-image. And yes, if they put this in more schools about speaking about Black American children, foundational Black American children, I'm not too worried about kings because that's always kind of related to Africa being kings and queens. But we have had warriors here in America. We have builders and scientists here in America, inventors here in America. But if you put all that in the schools, I think shout out to Trump and DeSantis or whatever his darn name in Florida is, wanting to get rid of all of that. So you don't rewire the self-image of Black boys and Black girls. So you don't put that in schools and let them know, hey, there was a history before we were slaves. We was getting it in. We was building stuff. We was building this country. And even as slaves, we had inventions that were taken from us. We had ideas in our mind. It goes back to the beginning of it, of what I was reading earlier. Make the Black man, his ideas, make sure his ideas don't matter. See? This is deep. So again, learn your true history before slavery. I say before, during, and after slavery. So you know how powerful you really are, Black man. Tap into the legacies of kings, warriors, builders, scientists, and I will add inventors. All right. Men and women. That knowledge rewires your self-image. Okay. Control your programming. Very interesting on this one. Guard what you watch, listen to, and repeat. That is very important. Even for myself, I would say. Because there are times when I felt like I'd be on TikTok too much and I got to take a little break. I got to unplug. Because I've been scrolling down and all I see is nonsense, people are still beefing over Africans saying this and Africans think they that. We already know what's going on with them. So now it's time to shut them down and stop giving that energy. But some of us still want to go on and do live talks about why the Africans hate Black Americans, why the Africans think they're higher. We already know and understand that. And we know how to shut them down until they come to and realize and show some respect. They come from these other countries, fleeing their countries, coming here to the US, and they got a nerve to tell us what we need to do, or y'all ain't. And they'll tell us we ain't even African. That's the crazy thing about it. And we accepting that. No, we're not African. We Black Americans. We're foundational Black Americans. We've been 400 or so many hundreds of years removed from that culture. We created our own culture. That's how intelligent we are. So we don't need to be claiming that. Now you want to say that, yeah, there's some part of us that might, people always say the DNA thing, but that's not doing these DNA tests, but they don't have enough of, I forgot what you call it. I don't know if it's haplo or something else. They don't have all the, it's a word, I forget what it was. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is they don't have all the information to where they can do DNA tests and pinpoint where you from. It's always kind of generalizations because they don't have all the DNA from all the African countries to really break it down where you from in more detail. And we've been far removed. Things have been stripped. Our mindset's been stripped to certain ways over there, but certain things they couldn't strip from us. We have so much creativity, it's crazy. You come up with so many ideas. Now, that's the thing when I mentioned earlier, when I read it earlier, to try to, when it says as a strategy, to make sure you make their ideas not matter. Why is that so important? Because they know that we are creative people. We come up with different ideas. Something is a problem, we come up with an idea to solve that. All right. So, yeah. What am I up to here? Guard what you watch. That's where we're at. Guard what you watch, what you listen to, and repeat. Replace toxic content with knowledge, power, and purpose. And like I said, that's what I was getting at. There's times when I just have to unplug from TikTok because I've been on there a lot heavy. Because I keep seeing it, I keep scrolling and seeing the same nonsense over and over and over. I don't even get involved in a lot of those discussions no more. Every once in a blue moon, I'll get on a live panel because I have a video receipt. And that's all you need to do is drop video receipts because there's so many of them back to back to back. When Africans say something, there's a video to counter that. So once in a blue moon, that's what I would get on these lives to do, to counter it. And then thinking that, okay, people start seeing this, it's nothing. The Africans can't deny nothing because the video proof. I had the video where the Black African girl or lady, she's not a girl, but she's probably in her 30s or late 20s on the video, maybe older than that. She was saying about what Africans' intentions are when they come to America. And she said it straight up. Africans come here not to help other Black Americans. They only come to get, and that's it. Take, that's what she said. We only come here to take. I think y'all see, matter of fact, I did a video on this. Y'all seen this episode. I think it's a couple of episodes before this one. They only come here to take. I've heard them say this on Twitter Spaces Live, TikTok. They are constant denial about a lot of things, a lot of these Africans. And y'all keep on trying to bring them up just to make yourself seem like, okay, like you are knowledgeable than them, which is cool, but it's a waste of time. It's a waste of your energy. It's just pulling from you. You can be using all that energy to come up and do live videos on TikTok or Twitter Spaces live and come up with solutions and stuff. And these Africans, they like that type of stuff. Some of them like to just come up on panels and drain your energy and keep on going against what you're saying, even when they know the truth. Y'all wasting your time, man. That's just facts. Wasting your time. All right, let's move on, man. Let's move on. Okay, so again, guard what you watch, guard what you listen to, and repeat. Replace toxic content with knowledge. Go to some YouTube channels that have knowledge that you can gain from. There's plenty of them. I subscribe to some of those channels. And it don't matter if they white people, black people, whatever, Asian people. I go to them for the info, for the knowledge. So again, replace toxic content with knowledge, power, and purpose. All right. Last one on number 1, because we've been on this for a minute. Build a personal code. Live by principles, discipline, loyalty, courage, respect, responsibility. Don't just talk manhood, walk it. All right. And well, when it comes to the codes, it can be a lot of things you can add as part of your code. All right. It's whatever you want to. You want to build your own personal code, what you stand on, the principles you go by. You can create your own on that. Okay. Just read a lot of books and you'll start developing your own code. All right. So let's go to number 2. Rebuild the family unit. Wow. I don't seem like that's a thing too much anymore. Be present, even when it's hard. As a father, brother, uncle, cousin, show up and be solid. All right. Protect and respect Black women. Now, there's been a lot of I'm going to say this, there's been a lot of disrespectful Black women, so I know this ain't always going to be a thing. There's a lot of disrespectful Black women. And there's some Black women that aren't disrespectful. That's real solid Black women, but that's like a small few that you're going to find a real solid one. That's far in between. But protect and respect Black women. Unity starts at home. Create relationships built on truth, not trends. All right. And that truth thing is hard because you can be even telling the truth and you'll still get penalized for being truthful. So that's a hard one, I know. And the next one under number 2, teach the next generation. Don't let the schools or the streets raise your kids. You be the OG they remember. All right. Facts. But they got to be receptive to it because there's a lot of tactics going. Like I read earlier and spoke on earlier, there's a lot of strategies being used. Keep the old against the young or away from the young. So, and then you got some, unfortunately, a lot of these younger Black dudes, the first thing come out their mouth, "Oh, you just old. You old." That's the first thing to come out of their mouth. Got nothing intelligent else to come up with. That's the go-to comment. "Oh, you an old head, you old school now. You ain't the man, blah, 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 blah." But yet they'll go out here in these streets and mess up time and time again. So to even get them to get to the point where they want to start listening, that's the feat in itself. Okay. Number 3, take culture back. Yes, indeed. And we're doing that with hip hop and other genres of music. All right. Support real artists. Push creators who speak life, truth, and strategy in the spotlight. Buy their stuff, share their work, protect their voice. And I say it goes beyond just music because you also have, I did some years ago, some news reports on my What's the 411 news channel, where you had Black students, they was 12 years old, and Black boys and girls, 12, 14 years old, they was already in college at those ages. Real intelligent Black American kids in college at 12 years old and 14 years old. They need to be protected too. They need to be the ones that put in the spotlight as well, but they're not. What will end up happening is that other ethnicities are going to try to extract them and their intelligence and their expertise and use them for their benefit because we don't spotlight them enough. And we don't know if it's because the parents don't want them to be out there, which they should. We don't know if that's the case, or of course the system is keeping them quiet so you don't find out about them. You got to go to New Black Media to find out this information that, yeah, we got kids that 12, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, they in college already. And back then, like I said, I did a news story on a boy and a girl. I think the boy was like 12. There was a video on him. I can't remember if there was a video for the girl. But I did the story because I found the article on it. She was 14 years old in college. So we have intelligent kids. Even if they're not in college or they're that age, our kids are very intelligent, but they're not spotlighted like that. So the next one is redefine cool. Redefine what's cool. Make intelligence, leadership, health, and business the new wave. Let that be what's cool. Let being intelligent be what's cool. Let having leadership be what's cool. Let having health and being healthy, make that cool. Make business cool. Ownership is cool. Make that what's cool. And the last one for number 3 is use media wisely. Use media wisely. If you're going to go viral with a purpose. Drop gems, not garbage. That's what we try to do here. We use media wisely. All right. But you got to make that the cool thing as well. But unfortunately, a lot of folks want to see men twerking, black men twerking, want to see black women twerk, want to see arguments go down, don't want to get the lessons from the argument. It's just cool to see them go at it at each other, right? So you got to make it cool for, us when we're giving out some jewels. That's got to be cool too. All right. So right now, real quick, I'm gonna take a quick break. All right. We're gonna go ahead and promote this book again. So y'all give me a few minutes and we will be right back. All right. So let's go. What you are about to see was real life. Fauci and Mayor Bowser were knocking on doors like block captains, pushing jabs like they moving weight. If you thought this was about health, you haven't been paying attention. Check this out.
People in America are not settled with the information that's been given to us right now. So I'm not going to be lining up taking a shot on a vaccination for something that wasn't clear in the first place. And then you all create a shot in miraculous time. It takes years to create vaccination.
Well, it used to take years.
Okay, it used to.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science to get us to be able to do it.
20 years is not enough. And 9 months is definitely not enough for nobody to be taking no vaccination that you all came up with.
The only reason I'm talking to you right now, as close as we are, is that I've been vaccinated.
Right.
But if it allows thousands of people like you don't get vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country and in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And not
it's
like
much
the common
more
flu.
serious than the flu.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none, but the previous year, about 20 to 30,000. You know how many people have died from COVID-19 in the United States? 600,000 Americans.
The number that you all giving that died, that's once again, that's you all's number.
You gonna pass?
Yeah, definitely. Because when you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, there's something else going on with that. something else. It's something else going on.
It is
with
something going on.
There's something else.
You're
going
right,
on
but
with
I'm glad millions of people like me and most everybody here didn't get an incentive. You know what their incentive was? Protecting their health and protecting the city.
Well,
but that's, I won't keep you anymore.
It's okay, because my incentive, y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. You all attack people with fear. That's what this pandemic is. It's a fear. It's fear, this pandemic. That's all it is.
Now you see what it really was. No science involved, just straight up pressure tactics. If you want more, get the Fauci files. Fauci's dirty secrets exposed. Straight truth, no sugarcoat. The link's in the description. All right. Yeah, make sure you get that book. All right, make sure you cop that book and get it in. All right, so let's get back to it, man. Let's get back to it. All right, let's get back to it. So where we left off at rebuild the family unit. All right, be present even when it's hard. As a father, brother, uncle, cousin, show up and be solid. Protect and respect Black women. Unity starts at home. Create relationships built on truth, not trends. Teach the next generation. Don't let the schools or the streets raise your kids. You be the OG they remember. Now, I think we was up to take culture back. All right. And we went through support real artists. We talked about that. We talked about redefine what's cool, being intelligent, being a leader, being leadership, health, business, and use the media wisely. If you're going to go viral with purpose. Drop some gems, not no garbage. All right. And so now we're going to get into number 4. Strengthen the body and spirit. Train like a warrior. Fitness is mental too. Learn self-defense. Keep your body strong and stay ready. And yes, that's a definite need. Try to learn realistic self-defense. Learn about. I'll give you some. Let me tell you a little some things because I'm also into that as well. Start studying about the body. There's books out there. I might do a like a little cheat sheet of books. I'm going to monetize it. It's going to probably be really cheap because this is information I have. There's books out there that show you how to take certain weapons and to attack those parts of the body, and you can end things really quickly. And something that, you really probably, it might not be a good idea to talk about on here because we know how one of the strategies is to silence your platform, right? So we won't do that. But yeah, if you're interested in knowing what these books are, put it in the comments and I'll lead you to that information. There's a lot of information out there when it comes to self-defense that will definitely get you to where you need to be as far as learning how to protect yourself. All right. But yeah, self-defense, most definitely. Train like a warrior. Stay fit. Stay in shape, man. There's a lot of us that are just letting ourselves go. Okay. We all got to get back to getting fit. And it doesn't mean being super buffed out and ripped to the T. A lot of times it can mean when you was walking down some stairs or you're walking around your neighborhood, you get tired real quickly. Get to the point where you don't get tired anymore. And then you can increase as you go. For some, it might, some are out there working out heavy and they want to get even stronger. That's cool too. But that's a psychological thing. And that could be a strategy used because it was mentioned about that to get you away from that type of mindset. All right. So get fit. Let's get better start from where you're at and improve from where you're at right now. If you get out of breath easily, then start doing more walking, start doing more distance walking until you can get you start noticing that's changing. You don't get as tired walking long distances or up and down stairs. Sometimes go to a either a school field, where you have the bleachers, and start walking up and down those. Maybe only go a few steps up and then go down. You might get tired the first few steps and make that as far as you go. But as you get better, continue going further up and go down. All right. There's schools that has tracks, walk around the track. You might have a park where there's a track to walk around. You might only get halfway through and get tired. Then that's as far as you could go. Halfway through, take a break, and then continue the rest of the way. The next time around, try to do a little bit more of a distance. All right, lifting weights, going by resistance bands. You can go by those gallon bottles of water and use those to curl with. Go up, lift, and squat with them. If you can't afford the weights or you can't go to a gym, there's ways of going around it. So that's a plus, Black men. I say that for everybody, but we are talking about Black men. The counters to the strategies, all right? So fitness is mental too. Learn self-defense, keep your body strong, and stay ready, okay? Eat with a purpose. That's facts too. Respect your temple. Cut the poison foods. Get your health right. Get rid of the junk foods. Start learning about foods that is actually food. Because we getting in this realm where the food is being attacked. We all know it's been being attacked. But even in Tennessee, they was pushing a bill that will label foods that have those vaccines in it, label them as drugs, label the food as drugs. So that way you know what you're getting. It'll say drugs on it. I don't know how far they got with it. This was probably a few years back. But start getting your mindset of trying to get the best food and not something that looks like food. Try to get back to getting the best food you possibly can, all right? Pray, meditate, or get still. Whatever grounds you spiritually, do that. A calm mind is a dangerous weapon. Okay, enough said on that. Number 5, escape the system traps. Know the laws. I said that on a TikTok live one time. This girl just had some issues about certain people she didn't like messing with. And I just kind of said, like, people still need to start knowing the laws. There's a website called Pocket Press. I think it's pocketpress.com. You can download PDFs of different criminal laws in each state. I think they got it for all 50 states. If not, they got it for most of the states. And they have traffic laws. Start with that. You can get the physical book if you want to get that and just build your physical library up. Or you can download just PDFs and start learning the criminal laws and the traffic laws for every state. Understand your rights, teach your people, use knowledge as armor. Again, pocketpress.com. Go to that website. All right. Next one under escape the system traps is stay clean on paper. If you're already caught up, start strategizing to break free. Expungements, pardons, legit income are all possible. All right. The last one under number 5, escape the system traps, is create alternate systems. Alternate systems. I think that's very important nowadays. Homeschool if you can. That's an alternate system from the public school system. That's been a thing for a while. But I don't know if people started going back because the pandemic and stuff died down. So maybe a lot of people are bringing their kids back to school. but some had an alternate system from the system that we all know about. Same thing when it comes to entrepreneurship. Have alternate systems as opposed to working. You can have a job, but then have your side hustle, but again, we talked about that. Don't get tricked and looking at that as, you're going to get tricked as thinking that's the alternative, but you're going to not be made to know that you can build an empire from that. So do that with some intelligence, okay? So create alternative or alternate systems. Homeschool if you can. Create your own community centers. Start private networks. Okay, there you go with that. Number 6, stack real bread. We're talking about economic power. Okay, own something. We talked about that earlier. They're going to try the distraction or the tactic or the strategies to keep you from owning. Own something. Own land. Own digital assets, which we know that's becoming a growing thing. You can sell digital products. So create those products and you own that. That's ownership too. The book, the Fauci Files, is also my digital asset because it can be sold digitally as well as physically. Okay? Businesses, ideas, have your ideas, own them ideas, write your ideas down. They can be worth something down the road when you start to implement those ideas. Always come up with ideas for things, but make sure you put some of those ideas to action. Ownership is the new freedom. Okay? Invest in each other. Support Black-owned businesses. Start group economics. Learn crypto. Don't let that be the only thing. Learn crypto, stocks, real estate, e-commerce. All right? So stack real bread. Build with purpose. Don't hustle for show. Hustle for legacy. Hustle for freedom. All right? So that was number 6. The last 2 now, number 7 and number 8. Number 7, uplift and protect the wise. Now, before I get into that, that's what I was just saying earlier. I did it on my news channel, What's the 411 News. Y'all go check that out and subscribe to that. I reported on a boy who was 12 years old, and there was a video of him. And they said people were asking him how he gets so smart. He just says he learned, for some reason, he just learned stuff quicker. He could pick up things faster. And then that's what ended up getting him to college earlier because he could pick up on things quicker than some people. That's what he was saying. At that time when that report was going on, he's a smart little kid. I'm sure he's probably 18 now. Who knows? But he ain't been in the limelight. So he wouldn't be an inspiration for other kids because nobody's pushing him out there. But that's what comes to mind when it says uplift and protect the wise. And not just the kids, too. You got adults. You got some wise adults. Protect them. Protect the elders. Don't let their wisdom fade. Record them. Learn from them. Dr. Claude Anderson, still alive. Unfortunately, we lost Neely Fuller Jr. in February, beginning of February. He passed. But a lot of his information is on YouTube. So you need to grab that. He has a lot of good information on YouTube. So grab it. That's Neely Fuller Jr. Dr. Claude Anderson is still alive, if I'm not mistaken. And he's up in age too. So again, don't let their wisdom fade. Record them. Learn from them. That's even people in your family. They got some real good jewels. People in your neighborhood. All right. Preserve the real ones. All right. Mentor the young. Give them knowledge you didn't have. Be the bridge that wasn't there for you. And that's very important, even just for your own family. Not even if you're just talking to young boys on the block, that too. But there's information that you have that you can pass on to your kids, whether they small kids or adults or coming up. The knowledge you get, that's real knowledge and it helps and it's beneficial. Pass that on to your kids. Pass it on to the other young boys in the neighborhood. All right. Be the bridge that wasn't there for you. Form real brotherhoods. Small groups of strong, conscious men. Iron sharpens iron. Accountability and strategy on deck. Yeah. All right. Y'all can do that. It should be doing it anyway, because you want to create some alternate systems outside of what's going on now. And finally, number 8, master the systems. All right. So create systems for everything. Now, that's funny because I have been last week or so studying and researching about systems compared to goals. You know, I even plugged in some things on ChatGPT about systems and DeepSeek as well. I put some stuff in on DeepSeek about systems because I'm really getting in. And I watched videos. You have some millionaires and stuff always talking about systems and not goals. And Neely Fuller spoke about what a system is. And I kind of use that as my model on what a system is and start creating systems. And it simply is, when you look at Neely Fuller Jr.'s work, a system is a combination of thought, speech, and actions, a combination of that to bring about a result. All right. So a goal is like you're focusing on the end result, but you got to look at what's going on in between that goal before you get there. Create systems. All right. Systems to manage your money as opposed to budgets. Have a certain system that you go by, that you always do, whether it's every week, every day. Try to do it, try to automate it, have a certain amount of money automated to go into a certain account. That way you ain't got to fool it. That's a system that'll constantly happen all the time. And all you got to do is look and say, oh, it's growing. You have a system for writing a book. You have a system for creating courses. Have systems compared to goals. All right. So create systems for everything. Your money, your health. Yes, create a system for your health. How many days a week you go to work out? All right. What types of workouts you're going to do on this day compared to that day? The foods you're going to eat. Have a system for that, because you'll always do the systems. It'll just be automatic. So again, create systems for your money, your health, your home, your knowledge. Don't just react, organize. Okay. Master the systems. Number 8. The next one is use if, then, and PACE plans. Y'all know what PACE is. I think it's primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. I think what the letters in the word PACE stand for. Always have a backup plan. Always have a backup for your backup. Think like a general, move like a ghost. That's deep. Think like a general, but move like a ghost. Always have some backup plans. If this happens, then you do this. I started doing that too. I made a list of if and then things. If my vehicle breaks down, then I can have these different thens. All right. I can call a friend. I can call Uber. I can walk. I can have a bike in my vehicle in case my vehicle breaks down. I just pull the bike out and keep it moving. Always have plans. See what I'm saying? And the last one, under number 8 of master the systems, is document everything. Leave maps for the ones coming behind you. Systems over slogans. All right. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. How to destroy a black man in America in the 21st century and the counters to those strategies. We went through both. All right. So y'all let me know, man, what y'all think about this one. I think it was very informative. Okay. And I hope you got something out of them. All right. As always, be sure to follow the channel. Be sure to make sure you're subscribed if you subscribe, because sometimes YouTube will move people off of there mysteriously. then you next thing you know, you're wondering why you're not getting any notifications, because YouTube and its algorithms moved you off. So check periodically that you subscribe, share these videos, comment, let us know. Let me know if you resonate with any of the podcast episodes that I've done. All right. Pass them off to people that need to know. Okay. And with that being said, we'll see you on the next one, man. You know what it is. This is Thoughts of the Week podcast. I'm gone. Peace.